Okay, I am making a new recipe called Mediterranean Couscous salad, and right now I am making the lemon dill vinaigrette dressing. This is fresh lemon juice here, and I'm going to go ahead and put everything in this jar. This is freshly grated garlic. These are 2 cloves. You can use 1 or 2 cloves. I happen to love my garlic. So let me just go ahead. Oh, I don't know if you can see that, but I just put in a bunch of garlic in here. Okay, let's get all this garlic. Okay. The recipe calls for a teaspoon of dill weed. So let me get my teaspoon of dill weed. This is freeze-dried dill, which I think will give it a nice flavor. So we'll go ahead and throw that in there. Yeah, that'll work. And it says to put in 1/3 cup of olive oil. I don't want it to be an oil city, but let's see. This is 1/3 cup. That'll work. That's good. I put in about 1/6 of a cup. Yeah. Okay. And then a little bit of salt and pepper. I don't like too much salt. Here's the Trader Joe's organic pepper, which I love. That's good. I don't like my food too salty, so I think I might just put in a couple of shakes here. That's good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, now they said to put it in a bowl and give it a whisk, but I think this will work. So I got it all in here. Oops. Okay. So I'm just going to shake it up and leave it out, as now I'm going to cook the couscous. I'll show you how I do that. Ready to cook the couscous. Let's go ahead and start boiling. I have about 2½ cups of water in there, and by the time it boils it's going to go down to about 2.4 cups, which is what I want. And over in this pot over here, because I'm going to have that ready, let's go ahead and put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. It's kind of like a thick medium pan. That'll work. Okay, let's go ahead and heat that oil up. Okay. Okay. We're going to go ahead. It's a medium-sized heavy pan. Heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Saute the couscous in the olive oil briefly until golden brown. Let me just get me a spoon. I think I'll use this spoon. Let's spread it around. Let me see. Doesn't say what temperature, but I've got it about medium heat. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw that in there. Okay, let's go. That's 2 cups of couscous, pearl couscous. And put the heat up a little bit higher. I'm just going to coat it all with the olive oil. I'm sure that's the purpose for this, is to give it a nice flavor. In the meanwhile, I'm heating up the water in this pan in the rear. So we're going to stir it around until it's golden brown. Okay, I am This water I put in here, this is Brita water, so it was a little cold when it got in here, so it's taking a while for it to warm up. Let me see if I can see if it's starting to turn. Yeah, it's starting to turn brown now. Kind of turn it around here. Yeah. You gotta remember to twirl it pretty good or it burns. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Yeah, so okay, the water's starting to boil now. So I am yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the first time I've made this, but I can tell you that this Couscous brown, so I'm gonna lower the heat. Let's go down to medium. Couscous is browning pretty good right now. I'm going to keep twirling it like this or it's going to burn. I lowered the heat a little bit. I would say use about medium heat. Start off with medium high, then immediately lower it. Yeah, and you need to keep twirling it around or it's going to burn. Yeah. Because it might depend on your pan. Yeah. So here I am. Okay, the water's starting to boil almost, so I'm timing this all perfectly. Some of these are starting to burn a little bit. Yep. Okay, I think that's golden brown enough for me. Okay, let's see what let me see what the next step says. Okay. Okay, add the boiling water. I would say it's pretty boiling. Let's turn it off. Let's go ahead and add the water. There we go. Okay, lower the heat. We're going to cover it. And lower the heat and simmer. Oh, let's move this away from here. I don't want to destroy my pan there. Okay, now what you do, I'm not sure, I'm going to write this recipe for whatever works, but right now I have covered, reduced the heat, and I'm going to simmer cover for 10 to 14 minutes. And then after that I'm going to add a half tablespoon of olive oil and fluff it with a fork to separate the grains. So I will be back in 10 to 14 minutes. And meanwhile, let me chop up some of the other ingredients. Okay, it's been about, I actually had to use about 14 minutes because I felt like it needed to cook a little bit more. Let me go ahead and turn the heat off. I'm going to kind of handle this like how I cook my rice. Let's go ahead and now add a half tablespoon of olive oil. Let me just check it and see how it... Yeah, it looks like it's done. Alright. Let's, yeah, it's done. I turned the heat off. We'll go ahead and add a half tablespoon of olive oil to kind of like help separate the grains. This is a tablespoon here, so I'll just put it... Oh, that's too much. Too much. Let me see if I can dump some of this out. They're using brain control on me. Oh. Okay, that's good. Now, let's go ahead and kind of... They say to use a fork. I could also use a spoon. I'm just going to kind of... Now, what I'm going to do is let this cool off while I prepare the other ingredients. I already finely chopped the red onion. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to... the recipe also says you could drain it in a colander, but I really don't think I need to do that. I think the way that I'm doing it is working just fine. This is the Kroger brand Couscous. So yeah, I might pull it off the heat because it's sticking a little bit on the bottom of the pan, so it's definitely cooked. Let's see. You can use a fork too, but yeah. Yeah, it's cooked. I can tell. Alright, So what I'm going to do is pull this off. Just put it over here. Let it cool off while I work on cutting the rest of the ingredients. I actually stuck the pot on top of a pot holder in the refrigerator. It's good instead of just putting it in a bowl. Now I already chopped up the red 1/3 cup of the red onion. It's a great way to use leftovers. So now I'm going to chop up half of this English cuke very fine. So let me go ahead and, oh, I don't even have my light on here. Turn on my light. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to work on that, and I have some tomatoes I need to chop up too, so. Okay, I chopped up half of an English cuke very finely. Over here, very finely chopped 1/3 cup red onion. Now what I'm going to do, this is fresh basil. I'm going to be chopping that, but right now what I did is I got, the recipe called for grape tomatoes, but I didn't like the grape tomatoes I saw at Kroger, so I'm using cherry tomatoes. And I'm going to cut them in half and then put them back in here. I already rinsed this out in a colander, so let me go ahead and work on that. Okay, I just basically cut them in half. And what I'm going to do right now is roughly chop the basil. I already rinsed them. There's some bad parts. Basil goes rotten really fast. And I actually had to go to 2 stores to get everything I needed for this. So let me go ahead and roughly chop. Let me see, the recipe says to roughly chopped or torn. You can tear them also. So let me go ahead and work on that. Well, you know what? I can go ahead and just what I'm going to do with this recipe, I'm finding for salads, because I'm only one person, I'm going to make half of it and then assemble it the days that I'm going to tear off all the bad parts. Okay, like this is bad right here. Taking that out. I'm examining the leaves. It's okay. Ooh, it smells good. I see some bad parts in here. So we're going to take that out. Basil goes rotten really quick, I've noticed. That's probably why Kroger hasn't been carrying it. That's good. That's good. I got this basil at Walmart, and I got a lot of the other ingredients at Kroger. Alright. What I was going to do, if I couldn't find fresh basil, I was just going to use freeze-dried basil and just sprinkle it, about the equivalent of 15 to 20 fresh leaves in there. Okay, this one's kind of wilted. Throw that in there like that. I see a bad part right here. That's okay. Let's take that off. Taking off the wilted sections too. That's okay. There's a wilted section right here. Let's see here. Take that part. Okay. So let me go ahead and just roughly chop. And I store the ingredients each in their own container. That way, when it's time to assemble the salad, I can just take out what I need. Like the onions and the cheese, I will sprinkle on in individual bowls. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and stick that in its own storage container here. halves. If I was cooking for a family, I would just follow the recipe exactly. I'm going to kind of, I actually get, because in the grocery store they don't sell things in small enough quantities for me, I have to do it this way. Okay, now let's go ahead and get my canned chickpeas and my artichoke hearts ready. I have to rinse the chickpeas and stuff, so that'll be next. Okay, time to assemble the salad. I'm going to do half of this, okay? So, see, because if you want to make it ahead as part of your lunch prep, hold the dressing. Here's the dressing. Hold the dressing, the onions and the cheese, and just use as you need for each lunch portion. So I'm going to kind of do like that. Okay, so right now, in a large mixing bowl, okay, in a medium-sized, okay, let's go ahead and put in about half of the couscous in here. So I've got it in here, about half the couscous in here. This is definitely too much for me to eat in one meal. I can tell. About half. Yeah. Okay, that's about half. Okay. Now we'll put in about get me another spoon here. I'd say about half of the garbanzo beans. That's good. About half of the cucumbers. Onions for later. Half of the artichokes. I actually drained these artichokes. This was canned. They were already pre-chopped. I drained them in a colander. Okay. About half of the tomatoes. This I can tell is gonna, I won't be able to eat all this in one sitting. About half of the tomatoes, eh? Good. Okay, I think the basil is the one I need to hold off on. Let me see. Oh, you can put in a, oh, you also want to hold off on the basil. Hold on a minute. You can make this couscous salad the evening before if you like. Toss it and keep it in the fridge. Hold the mozzarella cheese until you're ready to serve. I think I can, let's hold off on the basil. Okay, now let's go ahead and mix this all together. This looks like it's going to be interesting, eh? Yeah. And then I'm going to have this with some canned sardines. I've taken a liking to, I love those things. Though I have to quit buying the Beach Cliff brand because I'm allergic to shellfish and they've been contaminated with shellfish. But, okay. Now let's go ahead and throw this over here in the bowl where I'm going to eat it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right over here. I'm putting it in this bowl. Okay. Okay, let's throw that in there. That's probably all. This looks interesting. Okay, we're going to throw in now a couple of the basil. Probably about 1/4 of the basil, simply because I want to have enough for later. And, oh, I forgot to throw in the olives. Shoot. Yes, I need half the olives. Put them in here. Throw a couple of them in there. Yeah, half the olives. Yeah, that would make a difference. Yeah. Throw one of them in there. Okay. Yeah, can't forget the olives. That will make a difference. And here, we'll kind of mix this up. Let's see, did I remember everything? Yeah, okay. So you got olives. Okay, I've got some basil in here. So let's go ahead and throw in a little bit of mozzarella cheese. I love. One of the reasons I decided to make this is I needed to use up leftovers. Let me kind of push this out of the way. Let you look at it. Throw in some cheese. Okay. Now let's try it. I think it's, oh, the dressing. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. Get this cheese off my fingers. We'll throw in some dressing. Yeah, let's kind of shake it up. I'm going to move you over here. Make sure I'm still on the camera here. Yeah, there we go. Throw in a little bit of dressing. And I will let you know if this is any good. Let's see. We're going to go with about maybe about 1/4 of that. I don't want to drown it. I don't like to drown my stuff. That's good. There. Now let's kind of switch it around. This looks good. I'll let you know if it tastes as good as it looks. Now, oh, am I still on the camera? Yeah, okay. Let's try it. It's delicious. Okay. I will be posting this at my cooking channel. Tasty salad. Made a good decision to cut back on the salt. Yeah. You're getting plenty of salt from the olives and the artichokes. Interesting. I like it. You could add a little bit of salt maybe, but I like it. And this will be perfect to have with a can of sardines, yeah. Okay, it's good. So I'll be posting this. Let me show you what it looks like. I'll be posting this at my cooking channel. I forgot the onions. Yeah. I bet it's going to be even better now. Let's go. That'll probably give it a nice zing, you know. Let's go check it out. Yeah. I threw in a little bit of onions in here. Yeah, save the onions and the cheese for when you're eating it right away. So if you're planning on storing this in leftovers, do like I'm doing here. Store them all in individual containers. Assemble your salad. Hold off on the onions and the cheese and the basil, and throw that in when you eat it. It's pretty good, yeah. It's good. I like it. Actually, could use a little more onions. Throw in some more. Yeah, it's good. Let's try this again. Okay. Very good. Let me go ahead and post this at my cooking channel. Oh, I'll show it to you. There it is.
In a world of secrets where darkness reigns, there's a warrior rising, breaking free from chains. She's Gail Schuler, her heart pure and strong, with the power of love, she'll right the world's wrongs. Yeah! She's the first, a passionate crusader. Stand by her side.